Welcome back, watch fans. I have a sad update today, and it's taken me a long time to put this together because I will have to admit that it was a bit more of an emotional roller coaster than I had expected. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I destroyed my beloved Rolex Submariner. Dropped it right on the crystal, shattered it into, I don't know how many pieces, and I had to take it in to have it repaired. But I wanted to share with you my experience and show you how the watch goes away and comes back. Now, Rolexes, as everybody knows, when you buy them, they come in this very nice box. I've done a review. Actually, I just did a review and an unboxing of this very Submariner. I've been wearing this for years, since 2023. It is an awesome watch. It is a tool watch. It is an icon in the industry. You can take a look at the video, it'll give you all the specs, etc. But they don't want you to send it in the box. They want you to bring in the watch by itself. And if you have an authorized dealer that you like and trust, which I use BCClark, I love them. They're all great. There's one downtown. There's one on Class and Curve. They have several. You take them the watch. They send it off. They do not want the box. They don't want to have to keep track of it. They send your watch back. They give it back to you in this little pouch, in this little box. Now, I have read that Rolex actually uses these little clamshell cases to mail the box or mail the watch because it makes sense. It's very well protected in that box. But when you get it back, here's what you're looking at. You get a certificate from Rolex that tells you that they certified it, who worked on it, etc. Of course, I blacked out the serial number. I don't know why people don't share that, but here is all of the detail. You got the dial that was on there. I wound up having the dial replaced as well as the crystal because there was I don't know, some kind of a scratch on the dial, and there is BCClark downtown. I paid for this, you see, July 12th of this year, 2025. That's how much it costs, $648.50. Now, I will say the service was covered under their 5-year warranty because the watch is not that old. They give you a new warranty, and there's a little scan code there that you scan. So this is valid until 5 of 2028 at this point. But the reason why this experience, I think, was traumatic was because this watch was a gift. My wife gave it to me. It was my first Rolex. I love this watch. I love what it stands for. I wanted this watch for a long time. I think it is an icon in the industry, and there is probably, in my mind, no better dive watch out there. Omega gets really close, but this bad boy is just epic. Now, speaking of Omega, wrist check. Aha, there you go. There is that's my classic Omega Seamaster. I call that the Bond, even though it's just one after the Bond edition. Beautiful watch. Love that. Love that bracelet, everything about it. Now, this bad boy, let me zoom in on there. I don't know if you can even see at this point any issues with it, but the crystal was destroyed, absolutely destroyed. And there were little pieces of glass or crystal floating around in there. The movement had not been around very much. What happened was I had taken it out of the safe. I was putting it back in the safe, and I put it in this little donut. Well, when I tried to put it in the little donut, the front end of it was heavy, and it just flipped right off, flipped out of the donut, landed, it dropped it from a little above waist height, dropped on some ceramic flooring, and it just immediately, it landed on, I'm not sure exactly where it landed, but I do know that it shattered the crystal. I was so upset, and here is the photo that I'm going to show you right now of my destroyed Rolex Submariner. Hopefully, through the magic of really excellent editing that I've been trying to learn, I was able to include that picture, and I was destroyed. I literally sat down for a long time just looking at it, thinking, oh my, what in the world? And there were many expletives that popped out of my mouth, and I was just absolutely flummoxed. Now you can see there is one little bitty dent, a little bitty ding right there, which I think is perfect. I love that because that means it is my Rolex. And I had the, like I said, I had the dial replaced. They offered to leave it in. They said there were scratches on it from the crystal. I said, oh, while we're doing it, just go ahead and replace it. It's got a whole new crystal, and you can see the new little, I don't know if you can see that, but the new little Rolex emblem, the little floating crystal. I think it's very difficult to see, but aside from that, they cleaned out the movement. They did a complete overhaul on it. Even though these watches, they have a 5-year warranty, and this one now has a new 5-year warranty. When you send them off for service, they give you a brand new warranty. Now, that price right there, the $648.50, which would have been bad enough if they had not included, by the way, Rolex included the cost of the service, and I don't recall exactly how much that was. I think it was a couple $100s. However, this was all covered because I was thankful to have insurance through Hodinkee. And I'm sure everybody sees that around or sees it advertised. I can attest, and I know that I've read some, I guess I would call them varying reports, but I can personally attest that my experience with them was excellent. They did a very fine job at tracking my order, what was going on. They explained the whole process. I really love the authorized dealer that we use. I have a good relationship with them. I know that everybody asks, how long did you wait, all that jazz, and I don't recall. This was a gift. It was, yes, it was a couple of years. However, we also got this back in 2023, but I have had other purchases and bought other items from them, and my experiences have all been amazing with BCClark in Oklahoma City. So I will say BCClark did a great job. They handled the shipping and everything. Hodinkee did a great job. They covered all of the cost of it. I was really out nothing other than being without my watch for maybe 6 weeks, give or take-ish. So if you are into watches, if you are looking for insurance to cover your items, I think Hodinkee is quite the bargain. Of course, that is a beautiful watch, and I'm going to put that on for you on my 7 1/4 inch wrist because, well, I just like to share it. There you go. Beautiful. Thanks for watching, and sadly for sharing in my sad story of my destroyed Rolex Submariner. But really, what that shows you is that that's why these are heritage pieces. They are pieces, they are heirloom pieces. Items that you can hand down, you know, from generation to generation. This hopefully will go to my son one day. He'll have a really nice watch when he's quite younger than I was when I got one. So I think that that is a testament in its own right. You could replace every single component on this watch, repair it or replace it, and these last a lifetime. Thank you for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and please be careful with your nice watches because, yes, that crystal will shatter.